So you're an aspiring NFT investor, or maybe you prefer the term collector. You've just entered the world of NFTs, or maybe you've been hanging back, getting the feel for everything and checking everything out for about a year. But now you're ready to take NFTs seriously. You're ready to build and grow a collection of NFTs that will not only serve as a great investment, but will also allow you a creative outlet and get you into a community of like-minded people. And each one of those is extremely possible with NFTs if you take the right steps. But the thing is, people typically have one of two different problems when it comes to the NFT market. Either one, they don't understand the concept and the underlying technology of NFTs, which just causes them to spread FUD about the entire industry. Or two, they got into an NFT project, probably spent a bit more money than they actually should have, and the project didn't do as well as they hoped, maybe even did poorly and caused them to lose money. And this outcome often results in people just claiming that NFTs are a scam, you shouldn't touch them, and no one should go anywhere near them. My sincerest condolences to those people. You are the reason I'm making this video. Because in this video, I'll be outlining the 5 steps you need to take in order to become a top-notch NFT collector and investor. My name is Devin Cook. Thanks for joining the community and welcome back to DevMoney. And whether you're watching this at a desk, on your TV, laying on a couch, or on your bed, make sure to take note of this quick disclaimer. I will be going through all the 5 different steps and making it all as simple as possible. But no matter how simple I make it sound, that does not mean that becoming a top NFT collector will actually be easy. Because I can make a video about the 5 steps that you need to take to become a medical doctor, and it would probably sound pretty simple. For example, you just graduate high school, you graduate college, you get into medical school and ace all of your exams, graduate medical school, and complete your residency. But just because you have those 5 simple tasks in front of you, all nice and pretty and easily outlined for you, does not mean the actual process is going to be easy. And the same thing applies to NFTs or any industry that you're looking to invest in. You gotta start somewhere and you're probably gonna fail at some point, but honestly, don't worry about that. Just fail forward and learn from every mistake that you make. Now, let's get into those 5 steps, shall we? The first thing you need to do before you buy anything is decide what your NFT collecting strategy is going to be. And you have a couple of different options to choose from, or you can make a hybrid or your own strategy from scratch. For example, maybe you want to be an NFT flipper. And yeah, sometimes those people get a bad rap on the Discords and on Reddit because they're not diamond handing everything. But honestly, I don't think it's much different to flip NFTs than it is to day trade stocks. But keep in mind, both are extremely risky. And when you flip NFTs, you're probably going to focus a lot of your time on finding NFT projects that have a lot of hype around them and that probably haven't launched yet, so that way you can get in on the pre-sale if possible, or at least mint them at the public launch. Then once the prices go up 20 to 50% or whatever your threshold is, this is part of you coming up with your strategy. You sell the NFTs, take your profits, and move on to the next project. Timing is going to be super key for this strategy, and honestly, it's extremely hard to time any market, whether it's NFTs or anything else like stocks or real estate. And one of the problems with this strategy is you won't be getting those long-term gains that come with holding a project for the long haul like you would if you held an ape from mint date till now. You'd be selling for 40 ETH rather than just making a quick buck and flipping on mint day. So maybe you're not much of a flipper and you want to try the long-term hold strategy. This means that you're going to be looking for NFT projects with a really unique roadmap or some other characteristic that really helps set them apart from the other NFT projects. And ideally as well, you'll mint at launch so that way you get them for the cheapest price possible. And then you'll hold anywhere from 6 months to a year, 2 years, maybe even as long as 10 years or beyond. And this strategy is super awesome if you find the right projects that are going to increase in value and popularity over time, just like CryptoPunks did. But if you're not ready to tie up your money for months or years, this may not be the best strategy for you. Of course, you can always combine these two into what I call the $0 strategy. And you'll take the same initial steps as you would with the other 2 strategies I mentioned. You'll find a great project and then mint those NFTs on either the pre-sale or the launch day. And you'll just mint as many as you have the money for or as many as you feel comfortable minting. And say you mint 4 NFTs of a particular project for 0.25 ETH once you've accounted for the mint price and gas fees and everything else. And then as long as the floor price on those NFTs hits say 0.5 Ethereum, well, you can sell off 2 of your NFTs, recouping your capital while still holding 2 of those NFTs for the long term. You can then take your recouped capital and repeat this process with any other project that you'd like over and over and over. And if you would like to know more about the strategy, I made a video specifically about this, outlining every step that you need to take. And of course, you can choose all kinds of other different strategies or come up with your own. Maybe your strategy is only to invest in an NFT that has a utility or has some extremely unique artwork, or maybe you only invest in NFTs from the 2017, 2018 early NFT days. It's up to you, but make sure you really solidify your strategy before making any buying decisions, because this is going to be your foundation that you need to look back on whenever you're questioning whether or not you should buy or sell an NFT. And step 2 is to do 50 hours of research on NFTs. And in some cases, you can even do this in tandem with the first step, coming up with your strategy. Because you're not going to be spending 50 hours just looking at one specific NFT project, you're going to be spending 50 hours researching NFTs in general. You need to learn what NFTs NFTs are, and what are the different technologies that make them possible. When and why were NFTs first created? When was the initial concept for NFTs invented? What are some of the pitfalls of current day NFTs? What's the difference between Ethereum and Cardano NFTs? Or NFTs on any other blockchain? What are the pros and cons of each? Do you see where I'm getting at? Before buying into something, especially as an investment, you need to understand it. Warren Buffett, who is arguably the greatest investor of all time, said to invest in what you know and nothing else. That means that you should not be buying NFTs just because of FOMO or because someone on social media said to, even if that person is as high profile as Gary Vee. In fact, Gary's the first person that started talking about doing your 50 hours of research before you even get into NFTs. And you'll often hear him talk about on his podcast or on other videos how he did his own 50 hours of research before he even bought his first NFT. And once you've done all of this research, which I know can sound daunting, I mean 50 hours is an entire work week. But once you've done all this research, either one of two things is gonna happen, I promise you. Either one, you'll decide that NFTs are not for you. Maybe you just can't wrap your head around the technology, or you don't see the long-term use cases for NFTs. And maybe you just think that spending thousands of dollars on JPEGs doesn't make sense any way you slice it. And the second outcome is that you're gonna be beyond excited about the future possibilities of NFTs. You'll have a great understanding of them, and you're probably gonna be telling everyone you know all about them, whether they like it or not. So do your 50 hours of research, I promise you won't regret it. And step 3 is to choose your niche. And that may sound like a tricky thing to do from where you're sitting right now. Maybe you don't even know of any NFT project, so how could you possibly come up with an entire niche that you want to focus on? Well, that's the genius and reason behind coming up with a strategy and doing those 50 hours of research. Because by the time you're done doing all that research and are hooked on the concept of NFTs, which will invariably mean you're going to continue your research on your own accord, you'll know enough to choose your niche. In fact, you'll probably feel a pull along the way in a certain direction as you're doing all this research. Maybe you'll feel like you're not a big fan of these profile picture NFTs and you really get excited about the video game NFTs. Or maybe you get super excited about something like CryptoKitties because now you can read NFTs. And there's a lot of people that get super interested in and super invested in all the different traits and probabilities that come with owning those type of NFTs. Whatever your niche ends up being, you'll find it by doing your research. And you'll know it because you're gonna feel more excited about certain types of projects than others. Just naturally, it's gonna happen. And step 4 may sound a bit redundant, but it's essential to minimizing your risk level. And step 4 is to do deep dives into specific NFT projects or NFT creators. And these could be projects that aren't even launched yet, or well-established projects that have been around forever like CryptoKitties. And the purpose of doing these deep dives is to determine what project you're actually gonna invest your hard-earned money into. Because once you have your strategy, you've done your initial research, and you've chosen your niche, you're going to have several projects that you're already interested in. But that does not mean that each project is equally as beneficial in terms of an investment for your money. You may start looking into some of these projects that you like and realize that some of them just have a better roadmap or just better creators. And maybe one has a great community on Discord that you just really believe in and everyone is just super awesome in there. Regardless, understanding everything you can about a particular project before investing will help you protect your money. And try to be super objective about everything. Ask yourself what the potential pitfalls or downside of a project is. And part of your strategy from step 1 will be determining what price targets or price floors you're gonna be buying or selling each project at. And step 5 is a super fun one. Step 5 is to take action and most importantly, keep your emotions in check. Whether you choose to buy your NFTs during pre-sale or during the public launch, or maybe you buy your NFTs on OpenSea because it's more secure and you like to look at a project's history over time. Either way, buying NFTs is where it really gets fun. And it's also easy to get carried away and go on a shopping spree, so be careful for that. Which is why you need to remember the second part to step 5, which is to keep your emotions in check. And I really emphasize that last part because while it can be really fun to mint a new NFT or to buy one on OpenSea, it can be really easy for all that fun and excitement to overrule all of your decision making and your strategies that you've been putting in place since you've been doing all this research. So when you start buying and selling NFTs, make sure to refer back to your strategy and don't just abandon it. Do not buy an NFT because of fear of missing out on potential gains, and do not sell an NFT because of the fear of potential losses. Only invest with money that you can afford to lose, and remember to be objective about each decision that you're making, whether it's buying or selling an NFT. As always, thanks for watching and click on this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.